Hello. Let's see how we go tonight. We've just gone live, and so I am hoping that you can all hear me okay. And as soon as anyone can tells me that I'm sounding good and there's no echo, we'll get started. How is everyone? Hello. Hi, Kay. Hi, Margaret. I see Kay was here nice and early tonight. Hi, Jenny. Can you hear me okay? How's your week been? Okay, I've got some fun things for you tonight. You can hear and see fine. Hooray! Now, whoever said that, I can't actually see who that is. Ah, Katrina, hello. I wanted to talk to you specifically because I got a beautiful card in the mail from you this week, and I wanted to say thank you so much. It is just gorgeous. And don't be embarrassed. I just thought it was so beautiful. I wanted to show everyone the card. Isn't this just beautiful? And not only that, but she wrote me a little message, and it's very clever because she's tucked her little message inside a pocket here so that you can take it out and then the card can be used again. It's so clever. I thought that was a lovely idea, and I just wanted to say thank you. You made my whole week. Thank you very, very much. Just beautiful. So, okay, so has everyone had a great week? So whoever's saying hi, Linda, over on Facebook, you need to give StreamYard permission. There's a little link there. Give StreamYard permission for you to make comments. Otherwise, I can't see who it is. So if you haven't given that permission on Facebook, it just says Facebook user. So I can see the comments, but I can't see who's making the comments. Hey there, Wendy. Hi, Bronwyn. Hi. Oh, wow. So it's been a lot. Oh, it was you on Facebook, Margaret, and you've switched over to YouTube now, have you? Right. Okay. So there you go. Isn't that a good idea, Judy? I thought that was really, really clever. So wherever you got that idea, Katrina, it was just lovely. Thank you so much. I was going to send you a message, and I thought, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to call you out right here. So lots going on this week. Have some really good news. As of today, all the celebration items, which we were waiting on a few of them because some of them hadn't arrived in the country, everything is now available. Hooray! Which means every $90 order or $180 order, whichever, there is items available. There was the $180 items, the higher value ones, those were always available, but we had a lot of the $90 ones that were not. So now everything is. And the other thing that's just come in, I believe as of today, is the New Horizons. Is it New Horizons paper? So is it New Horizons? Yeah, New Horizons paper, which in the catalogue is this one here, this beautiful, beautiful kind of watercolored scenery look. Absolutely gorgeous, 6x6 paper, and you can see they've made beautiful, beautiful things with these. Just gorgeous. These are available now. So that New Horizons paper wasn't supposed to come in until the end of January, and it's arrived now. So hooray, everything is there. Hi, Michelle. So yeah, fantastic. So everything now we can get it, which is so good. There's not very much on unavailable at the moment. I know the tailor-made tags are still not available. There's only a couple of things on the list now. So most stuff has come in, which is great news because I know there's a few people who are holding out for things. The other thing is I've just launched another online class, and a couple of you who are watching I know have already registered for the class, and thank you so very much. Tonight I'm going to be using the same products that I'm using in that class so that it reminds me to talk about the class and make sure everyone knows it's out there. So what's an online class? Basically, you can either just buy the tutorial. I have recorded the videos and I will send the tutorial out for those specific projects. They won't be made publicly available, only for people who've registered. And then the other thing that I've done is if you're in Australia and you're a customer of mine, or even if you're not yet, you can purchase product through my online store, minimum $50 spend, and I will send you the tutorial and all the products to make up the projects as part of that deal. So you either can just go tutorial only for $20, or you can go tutorial and all the supplies to make the projects, and that's with a $50 order. That's in Australia. So if you're overseas, if you're watching from elsewhere, then then you can get the tutorial. And like I said, for $20, there's a PayPal button for that, and it's on my blog. Okay, so I'll put all the details after this video is finished. I'll put all the details, like the links to the blog and the Facebook page and all that stuff, in the description below, so you can find it easily. Okay, so hello, whoever's on Facebook, make sure you let StreamYard know that that you're happy for them to use your name. Otherwise it just says Facebook user, and I don't know who it is. So there we go. Hi Megan, nice to see you. Or you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, so in my private VIP group, that's where this video is streaming on Facebook. And for everyone who's not in that group, you can watch it on YouTube, which I guess that's what people are doing. All right, so let's have a little switch over to the desk. I'm going to do that little magic thing. Look at that, magic. Let me straighten this up a bit. We don't like having everything crooked on the desk. All right, so here's our mini catalog, guys. So we have right now, we have 2 catalogs because we have the mini and we also have the celebration catalog, this one. All right, and this is the one I was saying everything's now arrived in here. Okay, so I've been waiting for a few of these things. I'll be able to get these stamp sets that weren't available before. This is called Island Vibes. I nearly took a photo. I was at a coffee shop early this morning because I had to go pick up my husband from work really early and drop my daughter. She had to be at work at 6 and he had to be picked up by 7. So while I was in that interim period, I parked outside a little coffee shop and they had this kind of plant, whatever this is. I don't know if it's some Monsterio Delicia or something like that, but it looked just like this. And I should have taken a photo because it looked just like this stamp. The daffodil paper was the last thing to come in. That came in today and it's now available. I don't have that yet, so I need to get my hands on it because it's really, really nice. The colors in this are basic black, crushed curry, daffodil delight, evening evergreen, flirty flamingo, mint macaron, mossy meadow, pale papaya, pear pizzazz, and berry vanilla. It's quite a lot of colors in there. The thing about some of the papers, I always look to see what the base is. This is probably a good thing for you to do as well. Most of our DSP has a white base. Okay, so for example, the Heart and Home bundle, which is the one I'm using today, this has a white base, so it's white in the background. Okay, and white here and white all the way through. We don't have very many vanilla ones. They're mostly white, but this one is a vanilla one. Okay, so this will go with your vanilla envelopes and your vanilla cardstock and other colors, of course. But if you're looking for what the base color is, it's not going to go so much with your white. It's going to go with vanilla. Okay, they've got some really nice samples there. And this is that daffodil bundle set. It's called the Daffodil Daydream bundle. If you have that bundle, then you're going to want this paper because it's just lovely together. And you can make these 3D daffodils. There's some really nice. I don't have this one. I decided to go with the tulips. I decided, do I want tulips or do I want daffodils? And I ended up going with the tulips. So I've got those. Haven't used them with you guys yet, but that's what I'm planning on doing. Hey, Denise, nice to see you. Watching. Who's on the tennis right now? Who is that? I know who it isn't. It's not Novak. Catching butterflies. This one's in now with the little girl in the butterfly net, which is very cute. The combi one, which is super. I've seen heaps of samples of this. I think this is going to be really popular. This one's now available too. And this paper, I got a ton of that this week because this one became available earlier in the week. The Sunshine and Rainbows 6x6 paper. It is so nice, you guys. I've been playing with it a bit already. I've already made a couple of cards, and I will show you more cards with that over the next little while. So let me pull out a few of these. It's really pretty. It's much nicer. Isn't it always true? Much, much nicer in real life than it is. Actually, that's the one. That's the one at the back. This one goes at the front. So there's 4 sheets of each. So you've got your bumblebee yellow, which is really nice. I particularly like this one with the suns and the rainbows. I don't know why. That just really appeals to me. And you know what I love about this one? Who can guess what I love about that one? That one right there. Oh, you're going with the daffodils, Judy. The windmill die goes with those as well. Yeah. Oh, Naomi Osaka. Okay. She's good to watch, isn't she? I think I only seen her once or twice and sort of not for a whole match. But she's quite good to watch. All right, so guess why I love this one? Yes, exactly right, Denise. The Cloud Punch for anyone who hasn't seen it, we have this cloud punch and it perfectly matches with these guys. So if you think, oh, I like that one, I'm going to add that to a card. And so you don't have to even stamp. You can just line that up with your punch and it's going to punch that out. And then you can add those to your cards. Really, really cute. And I've used it a couple of times already. Would you like to see a card I made with it the other day? I'm going to do a video for this one. Where did I put it? This is I really like this card. So this is just, you can see I cut out that cloud from the, can you see it? Okay. And I've used some of the supple shimmer paper and some Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. I've got a little bit of the tie-dye, the spiral background one, spiral die, I think it's called. And it's got a little ribbon around it here because it keeps it together. Because the whole thing, this is like, that's one of those basic borders dies when you flip that way and then it opens up like that. So I really like it. I think it turned out nice. I'm going to do a little tutorial. If anyone's interested, I'm going to do a tutorial with that probably during the week. So I really liked how it turned out. It's very cute. Here we go. And this ribbon, for anyone who's wondering about this ribbon, this is the Pool Party Sheer ribbon, which is in the annual catalogue. Really love that. That's gorgeous. So it's a bit of a mix of mini catalogue products and annual catalogue products in this one. The You Make Me Happy is from the Rainbow, the Brilliant Rainbows. Is that what it's called? Rainbow of Happiness. It's this one, this You Make Me Happy. So you'll see me using this a bit over the next little while. Thank you. It is a fun card. It's really fun. So yes. That would be great with the kite stamp set with the clouds, wouldn't it? I'm assuming you're talking about the clouds, Vicky. Yeah, thank you. I like the fold too. I'm trying to do a few more little fancy folds. I'm sort of seem to be doing a few more of those lately. So you guys will benefit from that when I post all those tutorials and things. So make sure if you're not already and you're on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Because that's when you'll see when I either go live or when I put up new tutorials, you'll see them. I love this rainbow look. That's really, really cute. And then, you know, on the back, you've got little tiny weeny hearts, white hearts on a pool party background. Really like them. So aren't these nice? I think they're fantastic. Little rainbows. I've used this one already. I couldn't help myself. I'm a big, big sucker for polka dots and rainbow polka dots. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that, right? So that's pretty cute. Then we've got a little bit more lines and stripes and spirally kind of looks like wire on the back there. Very, very cute. So these are super, super nice, super great colors, really bright, really happy. And yeah, it just makes me happy, this one. That's very in your face, isn't it? And on the back, you've got kind of more of a subtle design. I quite like that. That's the pale papaya with like little pebbles on it. It's really nice. I know, aren't they lovely? So these are free with a $90 order, okay? And now, other thing I need to tell you is Celebration, as you would know from looking at this catalogue, is meant to go to the end of February. But because all of those items were delayed, Stampin' Up have said to us, our office, our market, which is South Pacific, New Zealand and Australia, who are both affected by this delay, that they're going to extend Celebration for us a little bit. So don't panic if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've only gotten to the end of February, I'm not going to be able to get everything. They're going to give us a bit of extra time. They haven't given us a cutoff date yet, but they're saying into March. So I don't know if that means half of March, all of March. I'm not sure. We haven't heard that yet, but that's really good information. Okay, so because we basically said we've missed the first couple of weeks of the promotion by not having these things, and they said, yep, you're right, let's extend it for you. Okay, fantastic. So I'm very happy about that. Something I am always happy about is that, I mean, Stampin' Up know that we are there. You know, we're their shop front. You know, we are the way that the product gets out there and into people's hands. So it's in their interests, of course, to look after us, and they do. Okay, so something I've been very happy. Yes, it will be exactly, Judy. So you got more time, all right? Okay, so let's do a little bit of crafting, and I'm going to use the Heart and Home bundle tonight because that's the one I'm featuring in my class this month. So this is the Heart and Home suite. Okay, it's on page 58, 59. It's a big suite. 60 and 61. Okay, so this on 60 and 61, you've got a close-up of the stamps and the dies and some more lovely samples. Okay, and then back over here, you've got all the products in the suite. All right, so we've got it's what they call a mega suite. So a mega suite is, you switch to YouTube, Vicky. Is that better? Do you find it, do people have a preference? Do people prefer YouTube or prefer Facebook? I mean, the good thing about using the program I'm using it is I can see comments from both places in the one area. So it's very, very useful to me. This is something up until I started using this just a couple of weeks ago. I've sort of seemed to be ironing out my audio issues, which is great. I'm not saying I'll never have them again, but I seem to be getting better at that. And the whole idea is that I can stream to 2 places at once. In fact, I can stream to multiple places at once, but I'm just choosing 2 at the moment, which is Facebook and YouTube. I can choose my group, I can choose my page, and I'm trying to work out where it makes more sense for people to be. Okay. YouTube is your favorite to watch, Anita. Can I ask why? Oh, Facebook was stopped, and so there was issues with freezing on Facebook. Is that right? Yeah, look, most people do seem to prefer YouTube, which is why I'm hoping you guys will subscribe so that, you can always see when I'm there. Because if you're on YouTube and I go live or put up a new video, it will notify you as long as you're a subscriber. So that's why it's so important. All right, so here in the suite, it's a mega suite because it's got 2 stamp sets in the suite and 2 matching die sets. Okay, so we've got they're both lovely. This is probably the one I'm using the most. And this is called Blessings of Home. And this is the matching dies for that. Okay, so you can see that these actually, it actually fits. Oh, where is it? It actually fits this shape, okay, and cuts it out so you can add it to a card or whatever. Okay, you can see I've used this stamp here, and we're going to use that in a little bit, which is why it's not in the packet. Got some nice words. I really like this one that says we can get through anything together, and it seems very appropriate at the moment, don't you think? Facebook buffers for you, Cindy, does it? Yes, and you can watch YouTube on the TV. Exactly. So a lot of people have said that to me as well. They're like, I know if Shirley's watching tonight, she likes to watch on her big screen TV. So that just seems to work for people. So there you go. I think a lot of people are preferring YouTube for those kind of reasons. This one that says you're a real blessing to everyone around you. What a beautiful day for love. You could, if you wanted to, use your markers just on the bit. So if I didn't want to say what a beautiful day for love, I could just use my marker, ink up all the what a beautiful day, and just not mark up the full love, and it would say what a beautiful day, which is also quite nice, right? I can use the thank you by itself, or I can say thank you for inspiring me. Okay, so they're quite useful sentiments, really. And there's have a perfect birthday, so there's a birthday in there as well, which I know is always popular. And then these 2 beautiful images. Okay, and then these are the matching dies. So these 2 cut out those 2 big flower images, and then there's lots of like little sprigs of flowers and leaves and things that you can use on a card really easily. So it's a very useful set. The other one, I finally decided to get that one as well. This is the Honeybee Home, and there's matching dies for this. These dies remind me, they're different, but they remind me a little bit of the Quiet Meadow dies and the Nature's Harvest dies, which also have like sprigs of flowers and some that match up with stamps. But you know what I love about this one? I love the bees. Oh, how cute are they? Just love them. Okay, so they're the 2 suites, 2 bundles in this suite. Then we have the 3D, where is it? Here it is. It's called, I'll put it on something dark so you can see it better. This is the 3D Hive embossing folder. See, it's much easier to see if I put it on a dark background. And it does like a honeycomb look, which is really, really pretty. I've been using that on vellum quite a bit, and it's really nice. The denim ribbon. We've had denim ribbon before, and it's pretty much the same as what we had in the past, but the old one got retired, and they have brought it back in this suite. I really love it. Here it is right here. This is the denim ribbon. It's quite easy to tie, easy to work with, and I've been using it quite a bit on some of my projects. And, denim blue is always good. Then we've got the matte dots. Now, the matte dots come in black, grey and white and vanilla. The thing about these is if you have blends markers, the white and vanilla ones, you can colour them any colour you like because your blends markers work on any surface, not just paper. So you can colour your plastic dots and turn them into whatever matches your project. I love that, right? The doilies, love these. This is actually my favourite part of this suite. So we got black, sorry, what am I saying? No, we haven't. We don't have black. We have grey, misty moonlight. This is basic grey, and this is cinnamon cider. They're the three colours. But if you don't want those colours and you want something else, turn them over and sponge it whatever colour you like on the back, and they'll turn out to be that colour. All right, so easy peasy to use those. Love them. Yes, you don't use the blends markers on stamps. Just make sure you're using the Stampin' Write markers. So this is a Stampin' Write marker, for example, and this is a blends marker. They're totally different animals, okay, even if they're the same color. So these ones are alcohol markers and these ones are water-based markers. So water-based markers are the same as an ink pad, and they're the ones you use on your rubber stamps. If you use the blends on your rubber stamps, all you'll do is color them into whatever color you're coloring on your blends, but they won't transfer because the alcohol evaporates almost immediately, so you can't actually stamp with blends, but you can stamp with these. So just totally different animals, and they're used for different things. Okay, you like the notifications, Michelle? Yeah, I know, it's very useful, isn't it? You can't find your doilies, Megan. No, I couldn't find mine the other day, so I bought more, and then I found the first ones, because that's what happens. You buy more and you're going to find the first lot, right? Then I don't have these yet. The 7 and 8 is the Memories and More card pack and the matching envelopes. I am going to get them because I really like them. I just haven't got them yet. Then we have the paper. Okay, here's the paper. Oh my goodness, how nice is this? Right, so you've got 2 sheets of everything, although I have actually cut into this pack a bit. This one is like a cinnamon cider base with your bees. It's really pretty. And on the back, we have wood grain. Now, on the back of every single piece in this suite is a wood grain design. This is a diagonal one, and then this one is like slats. So they're all different ones. Then we've got the fresh freesia, and on the back of that is almost like a, I don't know what you would call that, but I can't even think. If anyone knows what to call that, that'd be great. It looks more rocky than woody to me. And then we have the blue and white, which is my personal favorite. And on the back we have a more of a traditional wood grain piece. So you got fresh freesia and pale papaya, garden green, and that's it in that one on a white base, and more wood grains. And then you've got your green, garden green, this one, and more wood grain on the back of that. So you're thinking, well, that's a lot of wood grain. What am I going to do that? What you're going to do with that is you're going to get your blending brushes out and make it any color you like. Don't we love that? So there we go. Distressed planks. Yes, I'll take that. That sounds good, Michelle. I wasn't sure what to call them, but with your permission, I will use that for the future. I have bought several packets, Judy. I've needed to have lots of them. All right. So there you go. That's what's in the suite. Like I said, running a class with it right now. If you want to be part of the class, $20 for just the tutorial, or if you're placing a $50 order, registrations close next Friday. So a week today is the last day to be in on the class, and then I'll be sending them out at the latest early in the week after that. So like the last day of January, first day of February, that kind of timing. So there you go. All right, let's do a card. I know you've listened to me talk long enough tonight. I've got a piece of Night of Navy here, and I've already got a piece of, this is thick basic white, so I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. And I've got a piece of Night of Navy ink, a Night of Navy cardstock. Now, I'm actually just thinking how big this is. Actually, we'll just start with it exactly like it is. And I'm going to grab a block, and I'm going to grab my beautiful big stamp. This is my favorite stamp in here. I just think it's beautiful. And you can do a lot with it. It's great to color. It's great to emboss. Great to do fun things with it. All right, so today we are going to emboss. Oh, and I just thought I should turn on my side lamp, because that also turns on the power to my... There we go. It also turns on the power to my heat tool. So there we go. All right. So I'm just going to start with some Versamark ink. The sad thing about Versamark ink is because it's clear, it looks like I'm not doing much, and so it's not much of a wow, but it's more of a wow when our embossing powder sticks to it because it's sticky, this ink. If you want to go down the embossing track, you are going to need some sort of sticky ink. Now you could use Whisper White pigment ink, or you can use Versamark. Either one, they both work. Just going to face the stamp the way I want it. Now I'm going to have this one just go sort of over this lower corner and give it a good old transfer of ink. Right, now you can't see much there. I know that looks like nothing happened, but I'm going to be embossing on this. Now I do have one that I've prepared earlier. Okay, so this is the card. I don't know if you can see it, and I've used silver. Okay, so the silver, and then I've actually added some color to my petals here. Can you see that? So my question to you tonight is, shall we do silver again? I'm gonna use the whitewashing technique. We can use silver again, which looks really, really pretty with the whitewash, or we can use white. Okay, now if I use white, the silver is pretty, but it's quite soft. The white will be more contrast against the navy, so it will be a little bit more more stark, I guess. Which way shall we go? Will we go, yes, stamping on wood grain is good too. Good thinking, Judy. Absolutely. You can do some nice things with that. So what do we think? Are we going to go silver or, yep, okay, silver. Silver is the answer. Everyone's saying silver. All right, well, I've got silver right here, so that's absolutely fine. Maybe I must have thought you'd say that. All right, so I'm going to use my little container here. I'm going to tip my silver embossing powder straight over the stamp that I've just stamped, or the image that I've just stamped. And I'm going to tap it off, and you can see it's starting to do something. It's starting to be part of the image, and I'm just going to do the top bit because I didn't quite go high enough. Tap that. This is why having a container is really helpful. All right, that's looking pretty good. Looks like I've got a pretty good image there. And so having it in a container is great because you can then just pop it back into your original little tub. So always keep a container to do your embossing. I usually have a couple of them sitting in my embossing drawer ready to go. Oh, Margaret, you missed out. And somebody else said white too. But tonight we're going silver because that's what people said first. So, all right. Just in case there's any stray bits of silver here on my desk, I'm going to grab my trusty brush, another thing I always keep on my desk, and I'm just going to go around and tidy up. So if there's any bits of stray powder outside the image, something else I do is hold firmly and give it a flick, and that can loosen off any extra powder that shouldn't be. So if it's sticking on the Versamark, it's going to stay there. But if it's elsewhere on the image, yeah, this is looking better now. So by giving it a good old flick across the back, plus neatening it up with your brush, get rid of any stray bits, and that's looking pretty good. All right, let's bring in our heat tool. Now the other thing I like to do when I'm using these, oh, there's a cat at the door because it wants dinner because it's 8 o'clock. If anyone wants to look at their clock right now, it is precisely 8 o'clock. Merlot knows that it's precisely 8 o'clock, and he knows that that's the time he's supposed to be fed. How do they know this? So he's actually banging on the door right now, and when I don't go and get him, he's going to go pester somebody else. But he's making quite the racket. Can you hear the noise he's making? Oh my goodness. He's driven by his stomach. Oh, yes. Well, I did think of that, Margaret, as well. I was thinking that's actually why I was thinking maybe we'll do white today. But people said silver. So, hey, the one advantage of using silver in a video like this is the silver is much easier to see when it cooks, and it's a bit of a wow. Okay, so that is nice. If I use white, it's less obvious when it has turned. So I'm putting this on my silicone mat because that's going to help it protect my desk. And I'm just going to hold this down with just, don't press too hard, you'll end up with a dent, but I'm just going to hold it down with the end of my brush there and turn this on, and let's get this going. Now the paper may curl up a little bit. That's okay. We can turn it over and it'll flatten it back down. It does take up a little while for the heat tool to get hot enough for it to start cooking, but once it starts, it'll happen quite quickly. Here it goes, it's starting now. Can you see it? It's starting to go. So yeah, once it starts, it gets to that temperature that it needs to be, it happens quite quickly. I'm always tempted to sort of move my, kind of like a hairdryer, I guess. And I often get asked, can you use a hairdryer? No, the hairdryer is not hot enough. Can you use a paint stripper? Yes, but it's too hot. So heat tool should be right at the right temperature to not burn your paper, but to cook your powder. This is the Stampin' Up heat tool. I like this one because it has a little plastic protector to stop the end from getting too hot. I mean, it still gets hot, but it's not as bad. Now I'm just going to turn this over and do the back to flatten it out a little bit. Don't worry if the paper has a bit of a buckle, because when we stick it down, it'll be fine. All right. I'm going to say that's done, and I'm going to put my heat tool on top of my silicone mat because, like I said, it protects my desk. Okay, so it's a really pretty stamp. Okay, can you see the shine on that now? It's really lovely. Okay, so I'm going to use, I'm just deciding, I've got some of my water painters here, and I'm going to use the whitewashing technique for this particular one. You'll notice there's in a pack of water painters, actually I've got a pack here, I think. Let me see, I think I have one. Yeah, okay. It comes with 3 pens in a pack of water painters, which is actually really good. You have a thin one for like fine detail work. You have a medium one for larger areas. And then you have like a big brush, which will do like a wash. Okay, so that one does a big area over the background. But I'm not using that one tonight. But I'm going to use probably my finer one. I could use either of these, but the bigger the space, we haven't got a huge amount of space here, so I'm going to go with the finer. So the first thing I want to do is I want to squeeze it so the water, oh, if you're wondering how does it get water in it, you actually unscrew them here at the barrel and then just fill it up at the tap. Okay, so then I screw my lid, and I don't know why, but whoever designed these, it's not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Whichever way it's meant to go, it goes the opposite way than what you think it will. So you have to tighten it up by going the wrong way. And I don't know if that was intentional or someone messed it up. I really don't know. All right, so you squeeze your water so it's coming through, and now I've got water coming through this end. Okay, and I'm going to grab my trusty white ink. Okay, my favorite white ink. Love, love, love. You guys will have seen me use white ink quite a bit. It's probably one of my favorite mediums. I'm just going to grab a smallish block. This is a B block, the second smallest one we have. And I'm actually going to open up my ink pad. You can take the color from the pad, but it doesn't work as well. But the other thing, sometimes people squeeze it so a bit of ink goes on here, or you get a re-inker and actually just put some re-inker on the inside. This is an alternative though. You can actually just put your block so you pick up some white ink. So it doesn't really matter how we get the white ink, just so long as we get some. And then I'm going to pick it up with my water pen. So I've got a mixture of water and white ink in here, and I'm just going to go over. And the nice thing, this is quite a quick technique. Okay, we're just going to go over the petals. All right, now if it starts to, the color seems to start to get a bit paler because the water is coming through and diluting it, you just go back and pick up some more white ink, and we're just going to color these petals. Really, really simple technique. If you don't have any white ink in your collection, do yourself a favor and grab some. Okay, white ink is such a versatile product. You can do so many different things with it, and I don't know where I would be without it, to be honest. It's just fantastic stuff. All right, so we're just going to color in our petals. Simple. and quick. Right, I'm just going to do the big ones. I'm not going to do all of them. In fact, I'm not going to do the leaves. I'm just going to do the big petals in here. There is a couple of leaves and petals in here. It's hard to tell if they're leaves or petals. A couple of times I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I should be painting that, you know, the color of the flower or leaves. Should I be painting it green? But anyway, so even just with the white, doesn't that look nice? It's a lovely look. Okay, I really love it. Some of you may remember I had a video I did a few years ago with the magnolias. Remember we had the magnolia stamps, and I did this technique I did embossed in gold on crumb cake, and then I coloured the leaves, coloured the petals in white. And it's one of my most successful videos ever because everyone loved it. So I think for me, I don't have the massive numbers. Some people do, but I think about 17,000 people liked it. When you think about it, that's a lot of people. If I had 17,000 people turn up at my house, I'd think, wow, that's a lot of people. So, yeah. So now that the whitewashing and the water together, the white ink and the water together, it starts to fade a little bit. So if you want to add a bit more white, you can come in and add more. And you can go straight over the top. This is why it's so quick and easy. You can go straight over the top of your silver lines, because the silver embossing resists the ink. So you don't have to be particularly careful about trying to stay inside the lines. You just go straight over them. I'm not going to worry about the leaves. I'm just doing some of the bigger flowers. I'll do this one as well. I didn't put anything in the center of my flowers. Oh, there's one I missed down here. Now, if I wanted to, so let's have a look at this. All right, so I've got two here. Now, you might be able to see I have just left this one white, and I think I really like that. This one, I added some color. Can you see the color? It's not in your face kind of color, but there is color there. So I've used my pastels, and pastels are they're not something I think a lot of people miss them in the catalog. They're the Stampin' Up pastels that are in the Stampin' Up colors. They're these. I've got a whole new pack here. Hang on. Oh, it's not even been opened, this pack. So I'm not going to open the whole thing, but I'm just going to slide it out so you can see it. So these are actually in the Stampin' Up colors. Now, we had many years ago, we had the chalks, the Stampin' pastels they were called as well. But they were just, they weren't actually in all the Stampin' Up colors. There were some that were similar, but these ones are actually made to, we've had other chalks that have just been, red, green, blue, but these ones are actually colors that we can use. Oh, can I even open it? That's the thing. Here we go. So they're chalks, basically. They're soft pastels, and you apply the color. Just literally, I colored it on, like with the corner of the chalk, colored it on, and then spread it once again with my water painter. Okay, or you could use blending brushes if you want the color, because if you use a water painter, it dilutes the color a lot. But if you use a blending brush, it doesn't dilute quite as much. The color stays a little bit more obvious. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave this one white today, just for fun. It keeps cutting off. I think maybe we need to switch over to YouTube if you have YouTube available. Yes, I would need a lot more coffee, Wendy. So, when you think of it like that, that's a lot, isn't it? So I wanted to show you this, how nice this particular stamp looks. I've done other cards with this where we've done, I've done watercolor with it. I've done blends with it. It's just a beautiful stamp, and there are so many different things you can do. It looks great with the color sponged over the top of it as well. Let's just quickly show you a different card. So this one is one I did at my launch, this particular card, and some of you may have seen I posted it on Instagram and Facebook as well. So this is the other image from the same set. Okay, this one here, and this one, actually, I'm going to color one of these in a minute for you so you can see it. But This one I've just sponged the colour over the top rather than using blends or doing anything else with. And I've used that little Hive embossing folder on some vellum behind here, used one of the doilies, used some of the paper, and I think it came together really nicely. This is the Fresh Freesia ribbon, which is the perfect ribbon, of course, to match the cardstock. So, yeah. No, I didn't wipe it off with a tissue, Megan. I just used a blending brush, a blender pen, and literally kind of blended it out. And it, you know, will it come off? Maybe a little. No, it doesn't seem to be coming off. But you can feel it feels chalky. But yeah, so you could choose just to leave it white, or you could choose to add color. Something different anyway. Yeah, thank you. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put these out of the way and we're going to make one more card. And I'll dress that other card up later. And I thought we might do something a little fun because I have not done nearly enough yet with the slimline stuff that's in here. Okay, now quickly show you this. Where is it? I probably should have paid attention and had, I'll just look at the index. Sometimes I can't remember what. And the nice thing in this new catalogue, all these things in the index are now alphabetical. You haven't got to go looking for pages anymore. Okay, so the Slim Saying Stand set is on page 52. There we go. So it's this one here, okay? And I'm not using the dies or the stamps tonight, but I am going to use the envelopes, okay? So the envelopes are made to match these dies. Some of you may have seen I did a tutorial, a YouTube tutorial the other day with these, okay, this little flat card, okay, which came together really, really nicely. These are these dies and they match these great little envelopes. So I thought, well, let's just make a card to fit the envelopes, and I'm going to use this stamp set. So here are the envelopes. The envelopes come in 3 colors. They're soft succulent. Oh, is it basic grey or smoky slate? No, smoky slate and white. Okay, there are your 3 colors for your envelopes. And I wanted to show you how it, you know, don't be intimidated by these. The slimline card size is actually really fun to work with and quite easy. Okay, so you don't have to have the dies or even the stamps. You don't have to have any of that. All right, let's get a couple of things out of the way here. And I'm going to bring in the pieces. I've already cut these up earlier. So let's have a little look. And so I'm going to use the smoky slate envelope tonight. I love that they've got this little design on the inside of the envelopes. But if you're making any cards in this size, it's really nice to have the envelopes to match, right? So here I've got my measurements. I'm going to actually do up a new one so you can see the measurements for these. So I'm just using a piece of basic white A4 cardstock. Don't be intimidated if you're in the US and you're using letter size cardstock. It's not that much different, okay, because you're still working to the size of your envelopes, and the envelopes are the same in both markets. So we're going to cut our paper to size. I should just move these out of the way for a second. Right, so the width of a piece of A4 is 21 centimeters, okay? If I measure it straight here, yep, exactly 21, which for anyone who's in the US is roughly 8 1/4 inches. Okay, so that's the width of the paper. I think your paper in the US is 8 1/2, is that right? So a little wider, and that's fine too. That works as well. All right, but the envelopes, if you have a look here, are made slightly longer. They're 22 1/2. So if you're working with either 8 1/4 or 21 or even 8 1/2, they're going to fit inside that envelope. Okay, so this is the size of the envelope that I'm working with. Okay, so I'm going to then cut this size. So the width of this is 9 inches or 3 1/2 inches roughly. Actually, this is a little wider. This is 3 inches and 7/8. Okay, nearly 4 inches. So I'm going to cut this. In Australia, I'm doing it 9. So for the folded over card, I need 18 centimeters. So I need 18 centimeters this way. So I'm just going to cut this piece off, use that for something else, right? And then I'm going to score this at the 9 inch mark, because 9 is half of 18, right? That's about as mathematical as I get. I have to tell you, maths is not my strong suit. Ask anyone who knows me. All right, so I've got a piece of cardstock that is 18 centimeters wide, or if you're in the US, it'd be 8 1/4, and then you'd be doing what, 8 1/8, which would be half of that would be your 4 1/8 would be where your score line goes. So you're going to score it exactly in the middle and then fold it over. And because I would like it to sit flat, I'm going to use a bone folder. And it's that simple, because you can see now this size fits really well in this envelope. Okay. All right, so let's put the envelope together. Sorry, the card. No, I'm not saying the envelope's already together. I've already gone ahead and stamped my, I used basic grey because black would be too stark, and I want this to be quite a soft card. So I've gone with the basic grey ink, which is the same colour as the doily. Okay. I've got some, so this card front piece, I cut so it would just fit inside. So remember, this is 9 centimeters across. So this is 8 1/2, and this is 20, what did we say? 21 this way. So this piece is 20 1/2. Okay, so you're just going down 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 inch each time. Okay, so that's roughly how you do it. I'm just going to add some seal to this, and it's just going to go straight onto the card base. Oh, sorry, not to the card base, to the Fresh Freesia. So the color here is Fresh Freesia, and I'm using a piece of paper from this Heart and Home suite. So what I'm saying is, don't be intimidated by these. They're just like making a regular card, except they're a bit more special because they're special size. And there's something really nice about a card in this size, and having the matching envelopes just makes it so useful. All right, I'm actually not going to put that on yet. All right, so I've actually got one of my doilies, and I had chopped off the bottom, and I'll show you why I chopped off the bottom. This is actually one of the projects from the class that I'm running. So this is a bit of a sneak peek. This is one of the projects, a little box, okay? And see, I've got this little bit of the doily here. That's the bit that I cut off, okay? And I've got some little bits and pieces on there, and you can see I've got some ribbon, and we've got this cute little shape from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, a little bit of the Hive vellum. So this is one of the items in the class. It's a very simple class, by the way. It's much easier to cut it the other way, Megan. Oh, you're very welcome. That's no problem at all. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting this right here, okay, and this is going to go along here. However, I've already put this together here, and I could put the whole thing and then assign it at the end. But really what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a ribbon going around my card, okay, because it just looks pretty if it goes all the way around. And a nice thing for you to do is to attach this, put the ribbon on, and then glue some of the elements over the top of the ribbon to keep the ribbon in place. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to... So this is super, super easy, but really a bit of a wow because of the size. The size just makes it special. Don't be scared of it. If you want to make some really, really cute special cards and use these lovely envelopes, I thoroughly recommend giving it a go, and it's not hard to do. Okay. Right, so we'll decide, do we want it down? Okay, what do you guys think? In the middle? I think in the middle. I'm sorry, I'm taking the decision away from you. We're just going to do that. So I'm going to get my ribbon first. Okay, it's going to go around the middle. I'm going to have it, how big do I want it? Probably I want to be able to tie a bow. So about there. That's enough to tie. So make sure that you have enough. Always better to have too much ribbon and cut it off than not give yourself enough to work with and then make it really hard for yourself. So I'm actually going to put this. Now I could put dimensionals on it. That would actually work, but I'm not going to in this case. I'm actually going to really stick this down well. I want to make sure that I have like 3 pieces there. And I'm going to put this over the top. Now you could also, I'm lining it up with the DSP, so I've still got that purple down the side there. You see that? Now, if you wanted to, you could also put some glue under here. The problem is this ribbon is quite sheer, and I'm concerned, even with glue dots, that we'll see it. So we're just going to make sure we attach it really well to the front, tie it, and then it will hang loose at the back. Okay, so that's just how I'm going to do it. Now, I've already, like I said, stamped this out and cut it out. This is one of the dies. This is the die, actually, that cuts that out. All right, that's the one. There it is. And this is going to go here. So let's add some color to this. Oh, I also thought I would, do I want to put some of this in the middle? Maybe I do. I think I like that idea. So let's grab our, I probably should have done that before I stuck it down, but anyway, doesn't matter. I'm just going to see if that's enough. I'm kind of guessing, but that's about right. Oh, look, that's perfect. Lovely. All right, so I'm going to add, this is decision time. Are we going to add a bit of purple ink to this with our blending brush, or are we just going to keep it white? What do you think? Shall we add a bit of purple? Because you're only going to see a little bit of it. You're not going to see much, but we will see this, a little bit of purple if we add purple to this. In the middle, says Judy. What do you think about, adding purple? Shall we add purple with our blending brush? Would that look nice? Add purple, says Megan. You're the first one, so that's what we're going to do. I've got a blending brush here. You can see I've used it for purple before. Once I use a particular color on a blending brush, rather than cleaning it, I just tend to keep them for that color all the time. So, and I don't just use it for Fresh Freesia. I use it for Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. So any of the purples I've been using it. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of, and it doesn't matter here. You don't have to cover it all. You just need to use as much as you would like. The other thing is, on one side it looks more like, this side I think it looks more like beeswax. This side it's more like little hexagons. So you can choose which side of the vellum you'd like to use. But it's been run through that 3D Hive embossing folder. All right, so about that. We're not going to see this side, so I'm not worried about that. The other advantage of adding a bit of ink with a blending brush is it also helps you hide your glue dots better. So let's add some of those and put a couple, one on there and maybe another little purple. Yep. Okay, well, too late, we've done it now. Actually, it's not too late, because I actually have, if we didn't like it, I have another vellum circle. I have a couple of them here. See, there's another one. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to add some color to this. Now, I have choices, and this is where you guys can help me. I can use very, very soft sponging with a sponge dauber. I could use some ink with a blending pen, or I can use my blends. Now, if I use blends, it'll be a little bit more vibrant, but I do have blends in these colors. So this is Highland Heather. Actually, I don't want Highland Heather. I want Fresh Freesia. Let me see. Is this the right one? Yep, dark Fresh Freesia and light Fresh Freesia. So what do we think? Do we want blends? Either way, it'll look nice. If we're using blends, I would go with the softest green is the soft succulent. It does look a bit like one of those eye wash pads. You're right. I didn't think of that. Now I won't be able to unsee that. Well, first person, the Facebook person that said, because I can't see who it is, somebody said blends. So, yep, we're going with blends. Let's go. Let's do that. So I'm going to use my dark Fresh Freesia first. And I'm only going to do a couple of petals at a time, because blends work best when you blend them while they're still wet. So if you colour too much, then it dries too much and the blending doesn't work quite as well. It works best while they're very wet. So now you get to listen to me try and remember to keep talking, because while I'm colouring, I'm concentrating and I forget to say anything. In my classes, all the classes go very, very quiet when I'm using colouring in the classes. Oh, hi, Roz. Nice to see you. We've got lots of people tonight, which is really great. Has anyone got exciting plans for the weekend? Anyone doing anything fun? Okay. I'm not even going to colour the centre of these, but I am going to add a little bit of fresh freesia to some of these little flowers over here. Now I could add a couple of different colours, but we're just going to stick with the fresh freesia and grey theme today. There's not a lot of flowers in there to colour. And then we have our soft succulents. So the darker one is quite dark. And then the light one is a lot lighter. Whereas the fresh freesia, I find there's not a huge amount of difference between the dark and the light. Actually, these are looking similar as well. But it's a nice soft green though, isn't it? I'm going to use the thin end to do It's been a while. Yeah, it has. Yeah, just saying to the girls, I don't know if you heard me saying earlier today, I'm very excited today because we finally, as of today, have all of the celebration items in after having quite a few missing because of the supply issues. And it's just all to do with the shipping crisis and things sitting on docks when they should be moving and they're not coming. But anyway, it's all available now. And also, I don't know if I said it earlier, I think I did, the New Horizons paper is available now too. And that was all the last item from the mini that we were waiting on. So yay. I'm so happy everything's finally come in. And because of all that, they're going to look at extending celebration for us by a little bit. I'm not sure yet how long that will be, but we'll hear soon. Now, there's a couple of things. Last Friday night, I did use a stamp set called Calming Camellia. Some of you saw me use that. It was the one where we added the white to, let me grab it for you and I'll remind you. This one here. So this one is with a big order. Okay, so it's either a workshop size order or an order over $500. So, yep, any workshop or individual order over 500 gets one of those. Really, really beautiful set. Everyone's been asking me about it all week, but it's very, very pretty. I'm just going to use some Winker Stella in the middle to make them a little bit sparkly because that always looks nice, right? Or we could even add some embellishments. Okay, so now we have this. It's looking very pretty. Okay, and I'm going to pop dimensionals under this. If you use blends and you worry when the color comes through like this, that is perfectly normal with blends because the alcohol always comes through the paper. So let me pop the backs off these. And let's add this. So we've got a little bit of purple coming out here. I do think that was a good choice. We think that's really nice. Okay. And then also I've got some little sprigs here cut from the same dies from here. And I've used the supple shimmer paper, which is in the, now something you need to know, if you haven't heard me say this previously, the supple shimmer paper, there's a bit of a, I think it's a misprint in here. Okay, it's on page 87, the supple shimmer 12 by 12 paper, and it's in pink and blue, and it's also shown on page 27. See the pink and the blue? Wrong, not blue. Okay, see the color of these? Let me get a sheet so you can see it even better. When I showed that card earlier, remember this one here? This is the same stuff, all right? So it's actually Iridescent Pool Party. Here it is. Found some. Iridescent Pool Party, which I think is much nicer than the blue shown in the catalogue. So I am not disappointed that this is what it is, but please understand it is not blue like in the catalogue. It is this beautiful Pool Party colour. And when you turn it in the light, it's got lots and lots of different colours. So really, really special. And you get a sheet of the Pool Party and a sheet of the pink. The pink is more like, well, Actually, I've got that on another card as well. The pink is more like a, it's like a dark blushing bride, I guess. Let me see. I know I had a card here earlier that had that one. Here it is. So there's both of them together on that card there. Okay, so the pink and the blue, or the pool party. I shouldn't say blue because it definitely is more of a aqua green blue kind of color. Pool party, to me, some people think pool party is definitely green. For me, pool party looks blue, but it definitely is got a green, definitely got a green tinge to it. So there we go. Isn't it a nice color, Katrina? I agree. Yes, very much a surprise. Yes, the other sheet is pink. So they're the two colors, the pink. And it says in here pink and blue, but it's pink and pool party. And the pink, I think, is closer, somewhere between Flirty Flamingo and Blushing Bride. It's a strongish pink. It's nice. Yep. Lovely. Okay, so just to show you that, so you don't get surprised when you order it. If you ordered blue, you might be disappointed, but I actually think you'll be pleasantly surprised how beautiful it is. So I've actually cut these little sprigs from that supple paper, and I'm going to add a couple of glue dots behind them, and we're going to throw that. I'm going to throw that behind. This one's got some little flowers on it. Let me see. Where would I like this to go? I'm going to have it. Wants to stick to my finger. And I might, deciding whether I would probably put another one in. If you've already positioned something and then you want to add a glue dot, I find the best way to grab one is to use the point of your bone folder or something like that and just pop it behind where you want it to go, and then you can position it so it sits right. Okay. And then I did have another piece of that, which seems to have gone walkabout, but when I take a photo, I might have a second piece of that. You'll see it puffing. So then what we need to do now is we're going to snip off this ribbon. I'll probably have to snip it shorter again, but I don't want to snip it too short to start with. And then I'm going to tie this. Oh, we didn't add our sentiment yet. So we want to tie it so like a bow right on the edge of that paper there, but it's held in place by the doily that we put over it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that nice? And then I did have, and you probably saw it here a second ago, we had that, here it is. I'm going to add my sentiment. This is actually this one of the smallest, it might be the smallest shape in the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I'm going to use my grey ink, the basic grey, and I'm using a stamp out of the Honeybee set that I just had. You know how I am with this. There it is, found it. This one here that says Miss You, because it looks really quite nice. There's a Stay Wonder. It's a nice set because it's not only got these cute beads, but some nice words. Happy news, we're glad your family, miss you, best of luck. Oh, there's a best of luck there. I must remember that because I'm thinking St. Patrick's Day. I have an idea. That best of luck might work. Stay wonderful and you're the nicest. So there we go. Let's add this Miss You. I'm going to ink up my stamp in the basic grey. I'm going to add it to... You can have it either straight or you can have it on a bit of an angle. This is one of those sets that doesn't really matter if it's on a bit of an angle, so it's quite forgiving. And I'm going to pop this on dimensionals. 1 and 2. Oh, twin screens. How did that happen? Huh. I don't know how that happened. Good thing I wasn't making faces or doing anything I shouldn't have been. Let me go back to the other screen. There we go. How did that happen? I must have bumped it. There we go. The other die cut piece with the sheet you just showed us. Which one do you mean, Megan? I'm so sorry. I think I don't understand. Is the other die cut piece with the sheet you just showed us? Not sure. I'm sorry. So I'm going to just sort of pop this so it just goes up under here. And then as a very last step, so let's close these up because Jodie's going to watch the replay later and she'll be horrified that I don't close up my ink pads. I'm learning to be better, Jodie, I promise. The last thing I'm going to add is one of my favourite things in the whole catalogue, and that is these gorgeous iridescent rhinestones. They are at the beginning of the catalogue in the Sweet Talk suite, right, the very, very first one. So when you go into, what page is it? page 9. Okay, here they are. This is the Sweet Talk Suite, but I've been using them for everything. Okay, and there's those little boxes like the box I showed you before, and then we decorated it. So this is, they're called iridescent rhinestones, basic jewels. They are $13 for a pack. You get 200 gems in the pack, and they are 3 sizes, 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters, and 6 millimeters. So you can see like medium, small, and large. Just gorgeous, and I'm using them everywhere, and they go with everything. So I'm going to do them right here on this. I'm going to add a big one down the bottom here. I'm going to add a little tiny mini one kind of on my sentiment, and I'm going to add a medium-sized one up here, up the top. Okay, and they're just lovely. And there we go. We have a beautiful card. So how did we do tonight? I think we did okay. This is a really, really pretty card. I think this is the kind of card, it's simple, but it gives you the wow look because of the shape, because of the size. And of course, let's not forget the last but very, very important step. We're going to pop it in an envelope like so. And because of the ribbon, you will have to fold that ribbon in if you're putting it in an envelope, but still, it's still really pretty. It will go in. It just needs to be a bit careful when you put it in there, and there's a little bit of bulk with the ribbon. If you don't want the ribbon, you don't have to have it, but I think it's really pretty. Now, I've already put this, let me take this out for a second. I just think as a final touch, we're going to go with basic grey ink again. I think. Will I go basic grey? Yes, I think I will. And what we're going to do is I'm going to stamp over the corner of my envelope. And I could use the same stamp that's on the inside, but because we've got this lovely big stamp, I am going to go with this one. Because Shelley, Shelley Gardner is the lady who started Stampin' Up, and she is, she's amazing. She's got, I'm deciding which way this should go. Maybe this way? I don't really want to put it on this end, but I'm deciding which way, maybe like this. There we go, just like that. Just as a little, there's plenty of room there to write the address, but it's nice to have a little bit of stamping on the envelope. One of her mottos, Shelley's mottos, is never send a naked envelope. And I must say I'm guilty of sending naked envelopes quite often. I forget to stamp on my envelopes, but it is a really nice touch. And it's nice to get an envelope in the mail that has stamping on the outside as well as on the inside. Thank you. Did you like them? All right, so we have this beautiful little pattern here. The smoky slate goes nicely with the basic grey. And there's our card. I think that turned out lovely. Where's the other card? What did I do with that? Here we go. So I'll finish this one off, and we'll pop those up, and then you can tell me if you prefer it with the colour or if you prefer it just white. I'll put that up later. And right now I might go and put this one up because I think that's really nice. So there we go. So I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and that you all do something that you enjoy. Find some time for yourself and do something nice just for you. And maybe it's making a card. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's cooking. Do something. But I think this is a beautiful set. If you're interested in the set and you want to buy it, then it's a good time with me running this class. Any $50 order will automatic, and you use the code for the class. I'll put the links to the blog so you can read all the details, or you can just buy the tutorial. The tutorial is $20 Australian dollars. If you're elsewhere, that makes it really cheap for you because Australian dollars are ridiculously silly. $20 Australian is like, I don't know, $13 American or something like that. They're not very much anyway. Well, maybe 15. I don't know what it is right now, but I know that it's quite different depending on where you are in the world. Okay, have a fantastic weekend, you ladies, and I will see you on Sunday night for those of you who are around. See you soon. Bye.